Hello everyone. Today I'm going to be making a pie crust. I've had several people reach out asking me how I make my pies, so today I'm going to show you. Let's get started. Alright, so to get started here, we are going to attach our dough hook attachment. I use a KitchenAid, makes life so much easier. Next, my flour bin is about out, so I'm going to grab some flour. All right, so for this recipe, we are going to be using all-purpose flour, and we are going to use 3 cups. I will attach my recipe below for anybody that does want to try this on their own. So there is 3 cups. You'll want to leave this because you will need more when you're rolling it out. Alrighty, then we need 1 teaspoon of salt. Okay, got that added in. Half a teaspoon of baking powder. Okay. And then my secret ingredient that a lot of people do not know to add is actually cream of tartar. This I use in my snickerdoodle cookies to keep them soft. It's a really handy baking ingredient designed to keep things soft. So I do add a half a teaspoon of cream of tartar just to keep it real soft and pliable. I usually buy my lard in a much bigger container than this, but I would like to get this lard used up, so I'm going to just use out of this. You're going to do 1 cup of lard. I know there are people out there that make their own lard. I do not have such talent, so I buy mine. Maybe someday I will learn to make my own lard, but don't want to bite off more than you can chew, so I buy all of my lard. I have substituted the lard for butter in an absolute pinch. Like I'm having a dinner party, I'm having people over, I need a pie, but I don't have any lard, don't have time to go to the store. I have substituted butter, and it's okay, but it's not the same. Lard is, if you can get the lard, I would definitely advise you to do lard because it adds flavor and texture that butter cannot. Okay, so we've got our lard. So first we are going to go ahead and mix up all of our dry ingredients. Just let it kind of stir around a little bit, stir together. That is good. And then we are going to add our lard. I prefer lard instead of Crisco. Crisco has 0 flavor. Lard adds so much flavor to your pie crust and really gives it that homemade kind of taste. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and let that mix up. One thing I will recommend to you, I have learned this the hard way, is to put any kind of towel, just a regular towel, a tea towel, whatever you have, like a hand towel, over your mixer because it will slosh the flour up and out, and then you just have a mess. I mean, it doesn't really matter because it doesn't slosh a whole lot, but then you just have a big mess to clean up. So we're going to go ahead and turn this on. I'll take a little peek. Okay, we're good now. So that way you guys can see. So it's going to start kind of forming more, like the flour will stick to the lard and start the ball rolling there. While that's stirring, I'm going to go ahead and get a half a cup of ice water. I just use cold water out of the fridge. I don't really put ice in it. And I usually get actually like 3/4 of a cup, but I only put half in to start, and then sometimes I need a little extra. So again, that's why I definitely wanted to do a video for this, because this is about any kind of dough you do, whether you're making noodles or crust, you are learning what it's supposed to look like and feel like. That's important just as much as the recipe and putting in the exact things. That's kind of what separates a good baker from a bad baker. So learning what it's supposed to look like at each stage is very important. Okay, so we've got that. So it looks good. So I just usually at this point kind of like scrape the chunky flour kind of together. That way it's all together in the middle before I start adding my water. I don't think it really matters, but it's just what I do. Okay, then we will turn it on and start slowly adding in the cold water, and you will really see it starting to form. Okay, so that was half a cup there. So you'll see sometimes half a cup is enough and sometimes it's not. Let's check in here. Yep, so we're going to need more because it's got to come together and form like a little ball. Sometimes it helps if you get like a spatula to kind of force the sides to come off. Sometimes they get a little stuck. There we go. I think we're still going to need a little more water yet. That'll probably do it, what I just put in. So that was, I mean, literally there's a very little bit left in the bottom. So it's almost 3/4 cup of water. But like I said, it depends on exactly how much flour you put in because you're not going to put the exact same amount every time. So I just really do it by feel and by look. So it should swing around the bowl like it is. Sometimes if you add too much water, the dough hook won't pick up the dough, and that means you have too much water. Like if it's splatting it out, it's too much water. Just add a little flour, no big deal. Like this is still picking it up and rolling it around the bowl. So that is exactly what you want. What it's doing right now is what you want. You don't want to over knead pie crust. It is not like bread. Bread you can over knead and it will be just fine. Pie crust you don't. So you want it to be a little sticky, but you don't want your hands to have anything on it. So just a little sticky, and that's perfect. So what I do first, I usually put down a piece of wax paper. This is just to help me on the cleanup end because I absolutely hate trying to get doughy flour scraped off of my island. So I just go ahead and put this guy down. It just helps me in the cleanup. This is not necessary. So then what you're going to do is sprinkle. Flour is going to be your best friend while you are rolling this dough out. Do not be afraid to put down a large amount of flour, probably about half a cup. And then we're going to grab our dough, and I'm just going to flop it right in the middle there. I kind of keep it in a ball form because this recipe makes 4 crusts. So you can do 2 fruit pies with this, or you could do 4 like single crust pies, like pumpkin pie, butterscotch pie. whatever you want. If anybody does want to learn my butterscotch recipe, please let me know. I would be happy to teach you. It is an old-fashioned recipe that I've learned from one of the ladies at my church. So I've been passing it on as much as I can. At any rate, we are going to go ahead and cut this dough up. So it's going to make 4 equal parts. So do half and then half again. I do have a fancy dough cutter. You can just use a simple good old knife. I had been doing that for years prior to getting my dough cutter. I usually just put the 3 pieces back in and just work with 1 piece at a time. Okay, so we are good to go. So let's go ahead. We're going to put it back into a ball form, because you do want this to be circular if possible. Then I set it down. I usually pound it down just a little bit to get started. Then we're going to use some flour, sprinkle on the top, smooth it out. All right, let's get started. So I've got my rolling pin here. You can use any size, does not matter. I usually just kind of get me a flat spot started in the middle, and you're just going to keep rolling and trying to keep it into a circle, which that will just take you practice. Sometimes mine get all wonky too. It happens. Don't worry. Don't stress about it trying to be a perfect circle. The more you do it, the easier it'll be. I usually try to get it pretty thin. I don't like thick, doughy pie crust. I prefer my pie crust to be kind of thin. I like a lot of filling in my pies. I don't want it to be all crust and no filling. Okay, so you want it like pretty big because you're gonna take part of it off. So what we do is I take it, and I know sometimes that paper, wax paper, sticks. I just fold it back, get my pie pan, put it right at the base there, grab this and put it right on. I usually kind of push it down, work it in the crease there. Okay, there we go. Good to go. I'm going to go ahead and do my other crust. Okay, there we go. Now we are ready to add filling. I do have peach pie filling that I can, so I'm going to make a peach and an apple. So I will go ahead and do the peach first. I do all my own canning and preserving. There will be more videos on that later. Okay. So we're going to do the same thing. Roll it into a ball, drop it down, pat it down, sprinkle a little bit of flour on, smooth it out. Okay, we are ready. When you're rolling out your pie crust, you do want to make sure that you have enough area, because there's nothing more frustrating than your elbows hitting something and you can't really get to the, like, you want to get clear to the edge and roll off. You don't want to be like up against the cupboard and not able to finish rolling. So we're going to do the same thing. Grab the edge, pull it almost the whole way back. I'm going to do the peach first. And same thing. Pick it up and we're going to just lay it right over. Then what I like to do at this stage, usually about my thumb width, you can see the edge of the glass there. So about my thumb width from the glass, I like to just go around and just rip that off. Then we're going to do what we call like fold and tuck. So fold it up under, tuck it up under, and pinch. And do that the whole way around. Fold it up under, pinch. Fold it up under, pinch. Some people go around and they twist. Some have a thing that they run around the edge and it makes it for them. I do it the good old fashioned way, the way my grandma taught me. So I just use 2 fingers and another, usually my thumb. So you just kind of make a V and then you move on. So if you see what I'm doing, you make 1 V and then where your pointer finger was, you put your thumb there. V, V, see what I'm saying? You move it over, make another V, and I just keep it the same spacing and just keep going. We'll just do like 3 cuts like you typically see. Okay, and this pie is done for now. I'm going to set it off to the side. We're going to get our next piece of dough. Now our apple pie, we're going to do just a little different, just to spice things up and, I don't know, do it different because I don't like doing the same thing all the time. We're going to make it into a ball. Same thing though, we're going to go ahead and roll it out. Good. Now what we're going to do, something just a little different. I want to make sure it's all coming off. Yep, we're good. All right, so we're just going to, I don't know, maybe less than an inch, not quite an inch thick strips. The more you have, the more interesting it looks on your pie, I will say that. So try to get several. You can make these as thick or thin as you want. If you wanted to go thinner, you could do several. That would look really cool. Sometimes it's like, all right, people, it's just a pie. So let's just cut these and move on. But you certainly can cut them smaller. Okay. So then what I'm going to do is kind of take my longest looking one and I'm going to put it straight across just like that. And then like a medium-ish one next. And another. And then like 2 small ones, probably these ones on the ends. Oops. Like there. And then there. And then this is where the fun starts. So what we do is we fold back every other one. So I'm going to just start with the middle one, fold it back halfway, and fold this one back halfway, and fold this one back halfway. Then we're going to get another long guy, and we're going to lay him right at the base there, and we're going to fold these back over. Like so. And then we're going to do every other one. So then it'll be these 2 that you fold back. You're going to get another guy. Oops, let's pull it this way. fold these two back, and then we'll do a little one. So every other one again. So you're just going to keep like kind of like reverse braiding, I guess. Like that. Okay. And then same thing on this side. So we need to do the opposite one. So it'll be these two. Just keep alternating until your pie is filled up. These two down. And then we'll do the 3 every other one. Just like that. Put this last guy right on there. Perfect. Now I made that look way easier. When you go to do it, it's probably not going to work out as smooth, but just keep trying. And I've been at this a long time, so that's how you get good. You just keep trying and trying. I'm going to kind of move this in the middle here. Okay, so then same thing. No matter what you have on the top, you're going to just, your thumb's width, kind of rip that and just go around the whole pie. And then same thing, we're going to fold and tuck right underneath. Fold and tuck. And so I'll show you. Again, you're going to kind of pinch your pointer and thumb together to make a V. Put it against the crust. I use my thumb. Some people might use their finger, but I just use my thumb and I push it in to make a V just like that. And just keep. Next, we are going to grab our sugar because everything is better with sugar. And we're going to get our other pie up here. And we are going to just kind of pinch some and sprinkle it on the top. Sugar makes everything better. Same with the peach pie. We're going to sprinkle it on the top, just kind of, you know, like a nice little coating. And we are ready. I will check back in when it is done baking. We bake these at 425 for 15 minutes just to kind of, you know, brown it up a little bit. And then we do 350 for 30 minutes. All right, everyone, we are back. The pies just came out of the oven. They are really smelling good. So I'm going to take the crust shield off. This is a very good representation of what a homemade pie should look like. Use it for any pie you want. I've even used this recipe for chicken pot pie for a dinner. So this pie crust is really versatile over many different recipes. So as always, thank you for watching, and make sure to like and subscribe. I will be posting more videos on gardening as we get into the year. It's just March here in Pennsylvania, so we're just getting the garden started. We're just getting started canning and doing other things. So make sure to keep checking out my page, and I will be sure to post more videos on how to make things from scratch, how to can, how to garden, and just how to be self-sufficient. So thank you all for watching. Have a great day.